Good morning, good evening, traders. First day I've looked at the charts this week, so I'm going to run down all pairs with you guys, so you can see the mindset behind how I find trades, what I look for, and sort of go from there. So let's start with gold, my favorite pair, one I trade 80% of the time. Obviously, we've been on an extremely huge bull run for quite some time, so generally we've been looking for buys. I took one short from gold, which is at this level, and I secured around here. But the rest, we've generally just been buying gold for one reason only. It's much easier to trade with the trend than it is against. For some reason, in everyone's trading career early on, you want to try and find those major reversals like I did, but you start to realize it's a lot easier to actually just start, going with the trend, and you'll find a lot more profitable trades doing that. So, firstly, I'm just going to remove all analysis. I'm going to start on the weekly again, like I always do, well, generally on the monthly to see if anything changed. But generally, since the last one, nothing's changed since we've had this monthly closure. As the last video I discussed, I was waiting for a pullback wick to test this level to then move to the upside. We never actually got the full pullback to this weekly body like I wanted, but we still had a small wick back and a continuation. So obviously, we're still extremely bullish on the monthly. On the weekly, not much change either. Obviously, we've had some strong closures, some nice pullbacks. But we've got quite a lot of imbalance to fill on this weekly candle here. So generally what I would like to do is I'd like to see gold come back to retrace to this top wick here, which you can see here. Generally, gold always does this, like most of the time. So you want to see these candles filled to the top wicks, because these wicks on the lower time frames are obviously support and resistance. So if we go down to the daily, you'll see this was the 4 hour and the weekly, and the weekly wick marked up. So you can see we've got a daily body there. Now, if we drop down to the 4 hour, we'll then notice this lines up beautifully with this area of liquidity. So that's what you want to see. You want to see those weekly wicks match up to the lower time frame support. So I know now my buying area is here, with the beautiful moving average curling up to use as the additional confluence to those buys. So I wouldn't want to look for swing buys unless we retest this area. Yes, you can argue we have a support here as well. We can clearly identify that. We can take buys from here, but we prefer to get those deeper retraces, like at least 50% pullbacks. Obviously, you can use your Fibonacci's for this. I don't really need them because I can sort of see it generally, because price action is the bread and butter of how we find our trades. It's nice just to add the fibs if you want to add confluence, but generally I can see if it's going to be a 50% pullback or not. I don't use trend lines anymore either, but if you really want, you can, obviously, because again, they've got to line up with the price action anyway. So, it's one of those that if you want to draw on to give you an idea of the trend, fantastic, but generally I don't use them. So obviously this could be my buy area. Obviously we've got this body here, bodies here. So anywhere around this area. Now, how do we know? We've just got to be patient. You've just got to wait for that reversal price action, your hammer rejections, your engulfings, and that's all you do. You mark out an area where you want to wait for price to get to, and then you monitor price action. We don't just jump in. You've got to get that confirmation. So generally gold, not really looking to short. We obviously have this range blocked up here with a fake liquidity sweep to the upside to make the all-time high. So generally what I see happening, I see gold making a retracement to this level, and then we can look for buys. And now let's move on to the other pairs. USD CADs. I took a beautiful short from USD CAD from this level to fill this gap. I closed around here and then it just went on for further. I did send a buy on USD CAD, a very low risk towards the latter end of the week, and we basically just it was a very tight stop loss here, and we got about a 1 to 2, I think, in the end. So the risk was, you can see here, 10 pips, and we got around 20. Yes, so a beautiful 1 to 2 trade there, hoping for a bit more, but that's the simplicity of that. I'm just going to remove all the analysis at the moment, and we're pretty much just ranging right now. Pretty messy price action down there. Still bullish on this pair overall, but you can see we've had a huge sweep to the upside. So nothing really indicating anything for me yet. USD JPY. Obviously, we had NFP, which gave a big bearish drive to the downside. I am bearish on this pair with a weaker USD, and it has been clearly showing that. This was obviously the news move here, pretty much indecision generally. And yeah, not much else right now. I can sort of see the bears timing out, and if we just remove all analysis, I always like to, when you see price. So we're making lower lows, lower high, lower low. Well, not here, but lower low, lower high. But you can see we've sort of got that rounded bottom there. This is a sign of a reversal, and it forms that double bottom. And then if this then makes a higher high from this one, you can then look for a pullback retracement, and then maybe a look to go long, because that also produces that sort of head and shoulders. It can be a rounded bottom like this with a double bottom, or left head, right shoulder. But if we go down to the weekly, can we see if we've got some sort of support reject? Still pretty messy. It looks like it's the 618 or the 786 fib. If we can draw it, you can use that. So that's a beautiful rejection from the 786, as we can see. So possibly we will see some sort of reversal, maybe up to this level here. And we can see we've got that sort of a higher time for head and shoulders here, left head, right shoulder. So I do see short-term bullish move for USD JPY, possibly up to this level, about 250 pips. But again, we've got to wait for that confirmation, which would be that break of this structure here, and then a retest to then go long. But until then, still pretty bearish on this pair. Down to the lower time frame, Euro CHF, pretty messy range. Don't trade that pair a lot unless it's clean, and nothing's giving me any trade on that one. Euro CAD, pretty clean bearish moves. I love that strong bearish momentum, and then retesting those moving averages, and then a move to the downside. On the lower time frames, really nice structure. So what I would generally look for here, without even looking at fundamentals, I can clearly see the euro's weak against the CAD, and it has been for quite some time here. So I'd look for a pullback retest this level, and then a continuation to the downside. So 48,500, this is my area. Once again, wait for price to arrive there, look for reversal price action, and then we enter. That simple. Euro USD, another one of my favorite pairs. I catch some great swing trades from this. It seems to move really nicely for me. Again, some nice bearish structure. I got sort of some messy gaps here, but similar to Euro CAD, I'd wait for a pullback to this sort of level here, and then take a retest and move to the downside. So that's what I'll probably look for this one. Euro odds, really interesting, solid bearish price action here. There's really tight range. You don't often see price tightly ranged like that, but not really much of a chance for a trade there. And it's already had the sort of retest from this level of liquidity here. So yeah, not much for that pair for me at all. Euro JPY, we caught a beautiful trade from this during the Thursday or Friday last week. Really clean price action. We obviously had a gap move to the downside here. We then filled that gap. We produced that beautiful head and shoulders in a bearish. I sent this trade to my team. All we waited for was a bearish engulfing below this low here, and I wait for a retest, which was here, which was also the pivot. And then we caught an absolutely phenomenal I secured about a 1 to 4, I think. Did leave a partial to like a 1 to 5, and then secured. And then it would have just continued. So that just goes to show sometimes it's worth holding on a small partial to hold that to the downside, as that's moved at about a 1 to 14, which is obviously a beautiful trade. So really nice trade we caught late the latter end of last week. Again, just going with bearish momentum, we can see prices bearish just by looking at it. We are moving down, making lower lows and lower highs. We're below the moving averages. So all you've then got to do is wait for pullback, retest to the specific levels, and then another push to the downside. And that was just a really nice textbook trade for us there. Pound odds, pretty bearish. We've had a sort of a gap fill here to the upside, but not much giving me much indication here for a trade, so I'll probably avoid that for now. Pretty messy range there on CHF. Pound, not for me. GJ, another one of my favorites. Pretty solid bearish momentum, but again, I'd need pullbacks deeper than that to start entertaining shorts. I need a pullback to around here. Nowhere near that for now. Pound NZD, I can see I already had these zones marked up. They're the beautiful short entry from this level here. I mean, look at these beautiful rejections on the left. All you do is wait for price to get back, retest these moving averages, and let's actually drop down the lower time frame to see if we could actually find an entry at this level. I generally like to use the 30-minute minimum, and there you go. I can see the entry already. I mean, I hope before I mention this, you can all see what the entry will be. It's a 30-minute engulfing candle, which engulfs. So this is actually our fake out strategy. So I'll just remove this zone for now. This is our textbook entry strategy. And if we'd had seen this, this would have been an easy entry. So price is boxed up on the 30-minute time frame. We had a bullish close above, and the next candle closed engulfing back below. That's our best entry we can actually hope for. So that would have been an easy short entry for us and the team on a pound NZD. Pound CAD, drop down the time frames. Let's just have a little look. It's a lot of messy price action at the moment. Clearly see by some gaps in the market, some wicks. So generally that's quite nice. We've got the head and shoulders, left head, right shoulder, broke below the moving averages, retests. But I'd still probably like to see price break below this level and then a retest to move to the downside. We're pretty bearish on that pair for now. GU, I was waiting for shorts below this level. We never got them. Let's remove everything for now. So pretty much, undecided. Obviously, GU is just sort of in this range. We do have clean range to the downside if we break this level. So I'd obviously wait for that again to move price to the downside. Alternatively, just no trades for me. AUD USD, another one of my favorites. Pretty bearish on this pair for a while. We've come back to retest this level again. So I am short on this pair unless we break above this level. So pretty messy here. I wouldn't be touching this for a while. Let's see how the week materializes on AUD USD. Or JPY, very similar to the other yen pairs. Bearish structure, but still pretty messy. Need deeper retests. AUD CAD, nothing there. Pretty messy there. I'm not keen at all. Or that. Enter DUSD. Messy price action again. So when you see price just kind of in this big mess, we just avoid it. You want to find those trending pairs to get those continuations on. There's just no point trading, trying to catch a trade in this range. There is no need to put your capital at risk. You look for pairs like this with a clear trend to the downside. Wait for that pullback to these levels, use those moving averages as additional confluence, and then we take that short. CAD JPY, really messy wick and rejections there. Not much there either. And that is pretty much it. So again, we have some clean trades on gold available. UJ, I believe, as well. But apart from that, not much at the moment. So generally, I like to wait for Monday to get out of the way before I enter day trades. Monday's generally a ranging day, and you'll see most of the main moves come on Wednesdays down to Fridays. Mondays can have just a fake range and fake outs moves. Tuesday, the trend seems to start, and Wednesday, you get your continuation. So again, let's see what materializes and hopefully see on the chart.